and welcome to the Entertainment Tonight show. My name is Jasmine.
And my name is Vivian.
And we are your hosts tonight.
We are currently backstage at CPS. Today we are interviewing some of the cast for the amazing adventures of Super Stan. Let's go see what they're up to.
Cut. Hello. We are here interviewing Jordan. She's a Crumbly. What is your Crumbly's name, Jordan?
My name is Frankie. I was originally Frank, but there was more girls than there were supposed to be as the Crumblies, then it changed to Frankie.
Very nice. So we are going to ask Jordan 3 questions about the musical and what she thinks about it. So if you didn't get the role that you got, what role did you want most?
I'd say the role I kind of really connected to and I really liked was the role of Stanley. The only thing that really bothered me was the singing, and that's kind of, so I kind of, at the end of the auditions, I kind of just sang badly on purpose. But if it didn't have the singing, I probably would have loved to do that role.
Very understandable. Okay, so was it hard learning your lines?
It wasn't so hard, but it was something you had to do and you had to make sure you had to keep up with, especially with all the work we had to do in Year 6. It was a bit difficult, but I got there in the end.
Oh yes, Year 6 is a very hard amount of work. What tips would you give to next year's group of kids in the musical?
I would say just make sure that you just practice a lot, and even though you might think, oh yeah, it's like 5 weeks away, it catches up on you very quickly.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jordan, for coming and interviewing with us.
It's no problem.
And we'll see you next time.
You know, like that. No, that's like a baby. I don't have a baby.
Hello, I'm here with Oscar, and he plays Max Volume in the play. So, Oscar, I have 3 questions for you. If you didn't get the role that you got, what role did you want most?
Probably Curly and Whirly. Probably one of Whirly, because they're so funny and they make like lots of jokes up.
Very good answer. What was it hard learning all your lines?
Yeah, it's hard. You got to stand in front of the mirror for a lot and learn your lines, so it takes up a lot of time, like schoolwork and stuff like that.
Mac has had quite a lot of lines. What tips would you give to next year's group of kids in the musical?
Just learn your lines and make sure Mrs. Idle doesn't yell at you, because it makes it a lot tougher to act. So yeah, just cooperate and listen to what she says.
Thank you, Oscar, for coming in and answering all our questions.
Welcome.
And see you next time.
Curly, I really need a week. And you're guarding.
Action. Hello, we are here today interviewing Liliella, who plays Sunny Day in the musical. Sunny, we will ask you 3 questions today. When we were all gathered in the 2 classrooms, what was running through your head?
I was really nervous. I really wanted Sunny Day. A few of my friends were just you're probably gonna get Sunny Day, but I wasn't sure, but I was really nervous.
Oh, okay. Was it hard learning your lines?
Well, not really. I learnt them in the first week or 2, so yeah.
That's good. If you didn't get the role that you would have got, what role would you wanted?
When I first got the script, I really wanted Stanley, Marvel, or the Candy King.
Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Lily, for being here tonight, and we will see you all next time. Catch you later.
Watching. So maybe you stand still.
Hello, I'm here with Kobe, who is Max's hairdresser. No lines, but a very interesting role. So I'm going to ask you some questions, Kobe. If you didn't get the role that you got, what role did you want most?
I reckon Max's role would be pretty cool.
Oh yes, and why?
I guess kind of being the narrator behind everything.
Very cool. Okay. You do come on and off stage. You don't have the most acting role, but do you like being on stage, just being kind of on and off?
Yeah, I like kind of being on and off and stuff.
Okay, cool. What tips would you give next year's group of kids in the musical?
Audition for a lot of roles.
Yes.
Don't just go for the one.
Very good tip. Thank you for your time, Kobe, and we'll see you next time.
And then you're just standing still, and then all of a sudden you're a bit uncomfortable, but it gradually goes up to I need a week. Okay? So,
And action.
Hello. Now we have one of the very interesting characters, Izzy. She is playing Curly. You know the candy bar, Curly and Willy. They're a duo. So we just have the one. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, Isabel. If you didn't get the role that you got, what role did you want most?
I would have wanted the Gran or DC because it had a singing part, and also it would have been fun like to be with Super Stan and Stanley the main character.
That would be very fun. Was it hard learning your lines? Did you have quite a few?
I have 52. It was quite hard at first, but if you like I practiced on the holidays and the weekends, and then now I know all my lines, but sometimes I forget. But just like I don't bring my script because then I get prompted, so it makes you like learn it easier.
Very nice. Very, very good speech there. What tips would you give to next year's group of kids for the musical?
Go for every role, because if you just go for 2 you really want, you might not get them and you'll get like a little role, but any role will be fun because then you'll be part of the musical.
Yes. Thank you very much, Isabel, for coming here, and see you later.
That's not true. It is. Last week you even weed in the swimming pool. And action.
Hello, we're here with Shabish today. He plays Whirly in the play, so he has a very big role. So I have 3 questions for you, Whirly. If you didn't get the role that you got, which role did you want most?
Candy King.
Why?
Because he's really villainy. He's very smart, even though he gets beaten up by Super Stan, but still I like his role.
Spoiler alert.
Very nice. Was it hard to learn all your lines? Did you have quite a few?
It took me 6 weeks to learn these lines.
Woo, woo, that's a long time. What tips would you give to next year's group of kids in the musical?
Try your best and you'll succeed.
Very good advice. Thank you, Shabish, for coming along and speaking to us.
Yeah.
See you
nice
next
guys.
time.
now, we did that. Check 72. Now, I'm going
Action.
Okay, hello. We are here with Bo, who plays Zap, the Minions. So one of the Minions is a evil worker for the Candy King. So I have 3 questions for you, Bo. If you didn't get the role that you got, what role did you want most?
Probably like Whirly or something, because it's like a very stupid guy and he's pretty funny. And yeah, it's pretty good lines and stuff in a couple scenes. And
Thank you. Was it hard learning your lines? You only had a few words, but still.
no, I had 1 line by myself, but there was a couple ones where we have to say together. But it's kind of hard to remember where to do it because all the minions they have 1 line and then someone's just saying straight after, so it's hard to know when you're supposed to talk.
So you are included in a fight scene. Is it very fun getting to fight Super Stan?
Yes, but I'm a bit upset that we didn't beat Super Stan because I like to beat Sean.
Yes. Thank you both for coming and interviewing with us. See you next time.
Where do I get out?
Hello, we are here with Aman, who is Kent in the Amazing Adventures of Super Stan. Kent, can you please answer 3 questions for us?
Sure.
Was it hard learning all your lines?
No, not really. It was hard at first. Like I didn't really want to do it, but one night my mom helped me and I learned all my role. The only the bad thing about it is I don't know what place my lines are in.
Oh. Without giving away any spoilers, what bit of the musical is your favorite?
My favorite is probably the first and last scene, because you get to see what it's all about. Like, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's really good.
And last question, what tips would you give to next year's musical group?
I would probably give tips to learn your lines early and don't get Mrs. Idol frustrated.
Thank you, Aman. We will see you next time.
Hello.
Right.
Hello, we have Kush here, who is General Commotion. He's a very serious actor and person. If you didn't get the role that you got, what role did you want most?
Probably maybe one of the backstage ninjas.
Oh, very good.
Maybe.
And why?
Because it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, yes. Was it hard learning your lines? You quite a few.
Some of the lines it took a bit long and hard.
What tips would you give next year's group of kids in the musical?
Remember your lines.
Very nice. Okay, thank you, Kush, for coming and interviewing with us. We'll see you next time.
Right, and jump on.
Looking for me?
Yep.
What would you give to Mrs. Idol for advice for next year?
Don't.
Idol or the kids?
To Mrs. Idol.
I would say. I don't know if they do the same thing you did this year.
Okay. Not
Oh,
very.
another. I would say maybe try a little bit earlier because we have been trying to rush things in. Maybe try towards the end of term 2.
That's some
instead of
great.
term 3.
That's some great advice. So thank you, Rita, for joining us today. We have more interviews coming up next. And the last question is, Sean, was it hard learning all your lines?
It wasn't hard. It was really scary at the start that I had to learn 45 lines, but I think after all the reminding of all the rehearsals, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Yes. Thank you, Sean, for coming with us, and we have more interviews coming up next.
I think we'll pause right here. That's better. Right.
Flavia, who plays Gran in the musical. Now, Gran, we have 3 questions for you today.
Thank you for having me.
So the first question is, what would you be in the musical if you weren't Gran?
Definitely Stanley Marvel because I love that solo. I really wanted to sing it.
Oh, okay. And what's the reason behind that?
It's just mainly like I just love singing and I would love to have done that solo, but I'm really happy with my part otherwise.
And the second question is, what would you give advice? What advice would you give to Mrs. Idol for next year's kids?
I think I'm not sure because I'm not Mrs. Idol. I don't know how to run musicals very well. I don't know. I just keep doing what she's doing. She's amazing.
That's very good. And the last question is, what advice would you give to next year's group of kids for the musical?
If you don't, so learn your lines really well, and try like put a thought into your line. Don't make it just like mindlessly saying it out. Put a thought in your head for when you're saying that line.
That's some very good advice. And thank you, Flavia, for coming with us today. And we have more interviews coming up next.
Thank you.
So we have Lal here, who is Candy King in the Amazing Adventures of Superstar. Now, Lal, we have 3 questions for you today for your interview. The first question is, was it hard learning all your lines? Because you got a few, like a lot.
I had 82 lines. It was very hard to remember. But I'm getting the hang of it, and it's going out pretty well. And I'm starting to remember them really well, so that's pretty good.
That's very good. The second question is, what advice would you give to next year's group of kids?
The advice I would give them is, guys, it's your last year next year, but really express yourselves and really be loud and clear. That's all you have to improve on. And remember your lines. Even if you don't have any lines, just be really expressive.
And the last question is, without giving away any spoilers, what thing would you change into the musical, like the plot twist or anything?
I wouldn't really change anything because the play itself is actually pretty interesting and pretty funny. It's all good. Nothing's wrong with it. I wouldn't change anything if I were, the director and stuff.
Okay. Thank you, Lal, for coming with us today, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ellie, who plays DC in The Amazing Adventures of Superstar. Now, Ellie, we have 2 questions here for you today. The first question is, was it hard learning all of your lines and the song lines?
Not really, because as long as you just go through as many times as you can, you just over time learn.
question. What would you like to improve on, like the background or the singing, like for the whole musical?
Or maybe some. I reckon the set's amazing, but we could have I think we're doing it this afternoon, but black out everything, make sure you get perfect lighting and everything. It's probably gonna be too hard to do, but yeah.
That's some great advice. Thanks Ellie for coming with us